No, I heard they recently decided to add more peps to it.
And I'm in the front row, and I'm hammered drunk.
You do not have anything to drink. Can I get you a tasty refreshment?
Yes, I'll have a beer.
Wunderbar.
Hey, careful, man. There's a beverage here, huh?
Welcome to the Buzz Basement Brothers podcast. My name is Aaron. We're hanging out in my brother-in-law Andrew's basement. He's hanging out here. He gets animated talking about anime.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
Alliteration is key, buddy.
It is.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
That is fantastic. Oh, take a little sippy sip. You let that thing sit.
I did. I'm sorry, but yes.
You could have got up and gotten more ice.
No, it's okay.
You're just out here raw dogging it.
It's fine. It's fine.
I guess the ice melted. It's probably still got a little bit of chill to it.
It does. It does. And it's still flavorful.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad.
Well, if you could put DP in your veins, you would.
I'm not going to deny it.
All 23 flavors.
All 23 flavors coursing through me.
Through an IV.
Yes.
You're disgusting. I mean, I like Dr. Pepper, but it's not the best thing out there.
I mean, I think it is, but then again, I went through a phase where I drank nothing but Mountain Dew, and then nothing but Coca-Cola. And
Coca-Cola is almost too peppery. It's got a pepper aftertaste. I don't drink a lot of pop anymore. I don't drink. Yes, we're from the Midwest. I don't drink a lot of pop. I don't. Every once in a while, I do crave a vanilla Coke, but the vanilla kind of X's out the pepper in Coke. Pepsi is almost too sweet, like the sugar content.
Yeah, Pepsi gets a little too sweet for me.
RC, only monsters drink RC
I can't
Cola.
drink much Mountain Dew anymore.
No, every once in a while, though, I do crave a Code Red Mountain Dew. I know the sugar content in Code Red Mountain Dew is just off the fucking charts.
Through the roof.
It's insane, but it's so good.
Yeah. No, I was really drinking Mountain Dew, back when it was Code Red and Live Wire.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Live Wire came out. Takes me back to my Grand Theft Auto Vice City days.
Yeah.
Now there's Tommy Vercetti slamming a 12-pack of Live Wire, staying up until 5 in the morning playing Vice City.
Yeah. Well, no, I jumped around between root beer, Mountain Dew, Pepsi, and then Coke.
See, root beer you can buy on the shelves. It's not good.
No.
Homemade root beer.
Have you had homemade root beer?
Yes. Okay. So, I've had homemade root beer one time. This was a long time ago. I had a friend when I was 12, 13. His dad was really into Civil War history. So we went to a Civil War reenactment, and there was a booth there selling what do you call you go to a brewery?
Growler?
Growlers of root beer.
Really?
Yes.
Ooh.
It was the best shit. It was the best shit I've ever. You ever been to an A&W and they had that shit on tap?
No.
That's pretty close.
I think the closest I got was up in Milwaukee.
Yeah, a lot of A&Ws in Wisconsin.
They had Spriker.
The
on
fuck is
tap.
Spriker?
Spriker root beer. It's the bottled root beer and bottled soda you can get at Menards.
On tap, though, I bet it's so much better.
But yeah, on tap, it was delicious. Like $7 a glass.
What?
Yeah.
It's more than-
My father hated me because we were up there for like conferences and shit for EMS, and we'd go to a bar or something, and I'd be like, I want a root beer, and they'd bring us out that, and then like I drink it so fast
because it's so goddamn delicious.
What I didn't realize is like they didn't give free refills
Because it's the good shit.
because it's the good shit.
Yeah.
And so Fred,
They don't get free refills on beer either.
Yeah,
Like
and-
legitimate beer.
correct. And so like Fred looked at the bill after like dinners and went,
And his beers are cheaper than your root
correct.
beer.
So he started going, son, you've got to stop.
You got a problem.
Yeah. So I actually made root beer before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With a whole pound of sugar?
I can't remember quite.
It was probably at least a pound of sugar.
I can't remember too many details. It was back in high school. We had a new teacher for biology, and she used to hand out homework packets, like chapter and such packets. And one of the projects that small group projects that we got assigned was you got to make homemade root beer, because we were learning like about yeast and stuff.
That's how you make beer.
Correct. But we did it to make root beer. And at the end of the I guess project, you had to taste your own mixture and see how well it tasted to actual root beer. We got pretty close.
Do you have the recipe laying around?
No, that's just it. Like, I didn't have the forethought to take that packet that she handed us the recipe and copy it.
You know, actually,
And when she handed it back,
we have the internet now.
she had ripped out the recipe for it. So yeah, I just haven't looked it up online yet.
So that's what you're doing next week.
So it's either going to be that, or I kind of want to get into making mead.
Oh, I got a buddy that makes mead.
Do you?
Yeah. Can you guess? It's Paul.
I was going to say it's either
Paul.
Paul or Levi.
No, it's definitely Paul.
It sounds like Paul.
It's Paul. Yeah. Paul, his meat is actually pretty good. I've tasted
Is
it.
it?
I've put it in my mouth. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Very nice.
Because mead it's honey. It's honey based.
Yep.
It's honey based, and then you throw the yeast in it and you let it sit.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a medieval
Correct.
type of booze.
Correct.
It's good. You can only do like 1 or 2 glasses at a time.
Correct.
And then you gotta. That's a little much. It's like too sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. But
It's good.
I like sweet things.
Hey, baby.
Hey.
Hey, you better calm down.
But yeah, it's either going to be root beer or mead, I think. I know Dad has that brew your own beer kit that he's never touched.
Because they give you the generic horse shit in it.
Correct. But mine's either going to be mead or root beer. If I could do anything else, I probably would. But
Use the internet. You can, that's how Sam Adams Brewery started. Some guy started brewing beer in his fucking kitchen,
mm-hmm.
and then started bottling it, and then it became popular because it was good, and I forget what, he sold Sam Adams to somebody.
I can't remember who, but, to be quite honest, I never really preferred Sam Adams.
I went through a phase where I really liked cherry wheat. Boston Lager, like 1 or 2 Boston Lagers, quality. They usually have a knockoff like a shandy.
Yeah.
They have a shandy beer in the springtime. It's actually really good. You can get 6ers of that, and it's good.
I think maybe the closest I've actually came to liking any of their brews were probably the Oktoberfest.
Oktoberfest is good too. That's
Yeah.
quality beer. That's good.
Otherwise-
but again, you can't drink that shit all year round. It's I like it for a month and a half when it's on the shelves, and then okay, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I don't look for Sam Adams.
Not really. No.
So
It's one of those. Oh, it might live in the back of the fridge. Buy a 6-pack of it.
shit, I still have a Guinness from a year and a half ago
That's
from cooking corned beef and cabbage. Otherwise, I don't drink Guinness.
It might not be any good anymore.
I probably need to throw it out. To be quite honest.
Yeah. Oh,
Except I give it to my brother when he comes over.
and he drinks the shit out of it.
Yeah, he'll drink it. He might only have the one beer, but he'll drink it.
Yeah.
Like he'll open the fridge and go, "Oh, you got Guinness." Every so often, and I'll be like, "Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Take it. Yeah.
go for it. I don't care."
Well, he doesn't drink like we do.
What? No,
But he doesn't.
no.
He's too busy. Like he's got too much shit going on. Like he's just
I remember when my brother first turned like 21. We went to, I can't remember if it was Applebee's or TGIF.
those middle-aged people.
But
Restaurants.
he had two martinis or something like that. And I was not 21. Therefore, I had not partaken in the booze. And I was driving home, and he was in the front seat, and we met a cop car.
I have heard this story. Yes.
And he just sits bolt upright in the seat, like on the edge, like proper posture and everything. And I just went, "Dan, what the hell are you doing?" And he goes, "There was a cop. I gotta look inconspicuous." And I'm like, "Dan,
The cop doesn't give a fuck about you.
yeah, they don't care about you. You're a passenger. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
They don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah. So stop freaking me out."
From the back seat.
Yeah. Yeah. To this day, he's still freaking me out sometimes.
Today I went to this town south of us, and a guy I had met at the gym, and it was a mandate. I shaved my face for the mandate, and it was itchy. They're maybe not correlated, but I went and we had talked about, so he'd like see me wearing my softball shoes and all this stuff at the gym. And he goes, "Let's get together and play some catch." Okay, cool. So we get together and play some catch, and he brought his bat bag. And he goes, "Man, it'd be great to hit some balls." And we're outside of the high school baseball, where they play baseball, the baseball field. And they got a batting cage on the other side. And he goes, "I don't know if we're allowed to go to the batting cage." And I go, "What are they going to do? Like, why don't we just go? Worst case, they just, hey, you can't hit here. Worst case, they just kick us out. Like, what the fuck's going to, like, they're not going to call the cops on us. We're not going to get arrested for this shit. Just fucking calm down, dude. It's fine. Worst case, they go, this is reserved for high school kids." Worst case, they just tell us to leave. And we go, "Okay, all right," then we just leave.
Yeah.
Not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like, just chill the fuck out. You really think that the police are going to fucking give a fuck? No.
Yes.
They got better shit to do. Nobody gets arrested for jaywalking. No white people get arrested for jaywalking.
Jesus, Aaron.
Am I wrong?
I don't know. Let's face it. You'd have more experience with that than I would.
I have never known a white person to get arrested for jaywalking.
Then we're gonna take it as true because, like,
What?
I don't have any experience to tell otherwise.
Well, there's no such thing as jaywalking where we live.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I don't know.
Your child, your firstborn child, was 2 months old, and I came down on the golf cart and came and picked you up, and we both have a beer in our hands. And I think I have your son in my lap, and like he can barely like breathe by himself.
Yeah.
And we're just hammered. And we're like, oh, let's go hang out on my front porch.
Yep. Yeah.
And we get to my front porch, and we're rolling up on the golf cart, beers in hand. And I got an infant on my lap, and just wave to the cop.
Yep. And the town cop comes pulling in.
Hey, how you guys doing? Oh, it's a cute kid you got there.
I remember that because you asked the cop. You specifically waved the cop over.
Hey, man.
And asked him if he wanted a bottle of water.
So, okay.
For his takeout.
So the police sometimes sit across the street from my house. I think I told you this story. The cops sometimes sit across the street from my house early in the morning. You know, me and the wife leave the house both. If I'm working, she goes to the gym before work. Mm-hmm. So we're both, on days that I work, we're leaving the house at 4:45 in the morning.
I was going to say
Same
quarter
time
after.
Yes.
Because I've met you
I'm
guys.
up at 4:45, but then we leave at 4:15.
Yes.
So we're both leaving the house to see the cop sitting across the street, just waiting for a speeder or, some sort of delinquent or, whatever.
Why do you look at me when you say speeder? I got out of that ticket.
Yeah, what is that you call that?
Professional courtesy.
Yeah, my fucking ass.
I did not ask for it.
Anyway, I do a lap around the house. I'm sitting and I'm looking both ways, like ready, like to go out of town to go to work. And I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to the cop. So I went and I rolled down the window. And I pulled over next to the cop car that was sitting across the street from the house. And I go, hey, man, I appreciate you sitting, trying to catch speeders out in front of my house. Like, can I like give you my Wi-Fi password? Like, can I get you to come sit here more often? And he goes, no, I got T-Mobile or whatever the fuck carrier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hanging out watching movies. I get good data down here. It's okay. Okay, cool. I appreciate you. All right, cool. And then I left. And I get about 10 miles from the house and I go, I just bribed a fucking cop, didn't I? At 4:30 in the morning. I just bribed I just bribed a cop and got away with it.
Yep.
And now when I see the cop, he always waves to me. Cuz he knows I drive a very distinguishable truck.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Hey.
Yep.
Cool.
That's like me. So I got
to work and I told my buddy Eric that story, and he goes, that's funny. That's funny. He goes, that's really funny. You didn't realize until no, I didn't. The thought never even crossed my mind.
No, you were just trying to be a genuine, nice
I'm trying to
human
be friendly.
being.
I'm trying to be a good dude.
Yeah.
And say, help the rest of the little
Correct.
tiny town we live in.
Correct.
Not thinking anything of it. Like,
yes.
I'll give you my Wi-Fi password if you come and fucking...
Yep.
Because I'm an old man and I sit on my front porch and yell at cars, slow down!
Okay, Fred. Slow down!
Slow down!
You're going too fast!
I mean, people, they
Who's that driving through my town?
Especially if it's cars I don't recognize.
You sound exactly like my fucking father.
I know, isn't it scary?
Jesus.
Isn't it scary?
Jesus.
Slow down!
I remember there was a guy like driving slowly past the house.
Like mobbing through your hood.
Yeah, slow. Nice and slow like.
Yeah.
And he was looking around across the street from Dad's, right? And
like down the alley or down the main drag?
Both. Like he started slowing up about the alley, kind of looking down at, kind of looking at the trailer across the way on the main drag and all
Okay.
that stuff.
Okay.
And then he like turned around at across the tracks, almost like church parking lot.
Did he look like, okay, so there's a difference between like you're looking for a house and you're looking
to
to cause a ruckus.
correct?
Yes. There's a difference.
He looked
You
like
can just
he
see,
was
you
looking
can almost
for
see
something.
it. You can see it in the way they drive. You can see it in the way they walk. You can see it in the way they talk. Maybe I'm a poet.
Yeah.
Any hoodles.
Any hoodles. So, long story short, after he turns around
Is
for
it
the
that short?
second time and started heading west out of town again, kind of heading west towards, our side of the tracks. Going slow again. Fred got up from his chair on the front porch.
On the porch?
Yeah. Cigar in hand, beer in the other. And like almost kicks open his front porch door. He goes, "Hey! What do you want?" I'm like, "Dad, what the hell are you doing?" And he goes, "You're not supposed to be here." "Hey, who are you looking for?" And the dude just goes, I'm looking for the person who lives in this house." He goes, "Tell me who that is." And I'm like, "Dad, come on. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're the epitome of small town folk right now."
He literally is.
And the guy's like, I don't know I don't know their name. I just know that they sell soap." And he goes, "Oh, you're looking for so-and-so. They're not around yet. You got to come back at like 4 o'clock."
He's going to get a cut.
And and the guy, you could just see the fear in his eye. And he just like, "Okay, thank you." Could you see me, middle-aged, graying in the hair, stepping out of a porch with a cigar and a fucking beer going, "Hey! What do you want?"
Yes.
Only because I already look like my father.
Well, genetics and whatnot. So you, was it last? It was last week. You called because you bought the place next door.
Oh, yes.
You called.
Yes.
You called me.
Yes.
Was I the first call?
No.
Who was the first call?
Fred.
He didn't answer. He left his phone. He doesn't. He left his phone in his Jeep.
Correct.
We were all sitting on our porch, and you said, "There's some teenagers.
There's some hoodlums.
There's some teenagers.
Goddamn hoodlums."
There's teenagers walking around the house. Can you go check it out?"
Yeah.
And I go, "Okay, all right, Fred. We gotta go on a mission. Get in the Jeep." I'm like, "Keys are in the truck. We can take the truck." "No, get in the Jeep." Get in the Jeep. We cruise down. I climb on your porch. There's nobody around. There's nobody in the house. I see the hoodlums across the street. And your dad does a lap around the backside of the house through the old alleyway, like through the green space that's behind your house. And he picks me back up, and he goes, "Look, there they are. Do you want to go talk to them?" I go, No. They see we're out and about. They're not causing a ruckus.
Correct.
They're just being fucking teenagers.
Correct.
They're just wandering around.
So
they're just being assholes because they're teenagers.
Yeah. So yeah, we bought the lot
Next door.
The burned down house. Pretty much just bought
For
it for
cheap.
The lot. For cheap. And my wife got cameras to put on it. Mm-hmm. And as I was on the phone with the wife, It was probably, what, 5:10,
Maybe.
5:15?
Maybe 5:30 tops.
So,
I mean, yeah.
so spoiler alert, my wife calls me every day that she's coming home from work at 5 o'clock.
5:02 p.m.
5:02 p.m. she calls me, like clockwork. And so we're on the phone, and she's like, "Hey, look at the Blue House's security camera." And,
Well, you do have a camera over there.
yeah, well, we have a camera on the back porch facing that way. Yeah. And so when I did that, that's when I saw the hoodlums, teenagers, whoever, walking in between our house and this torn down house. Very nice.
Yes.
So I don't care if they break into the old house. I've got a few trinkets in there from the enclosed trailer that I had to empty out to put more stuff in there. But
you don't really have anything of value.
I don't have anything of value in that house.
Not even the small town thing. It's the principle of it.
Correct.
It's the principle.
Correct. So.
Don't fuck with my shit.
Correct. And once again, we only have that one camera pointing at that house.
You had a lot of blind spots.
We have a lot of blind
spots. So if you want
to
come break into a house, maybe burn it down.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If you do that, you're
Figure
going to
out
save
where we
me a
live.
whole lot of money and time in tearing that shit down. But, so yeah, I called Dad, and he didn't pick up, and I knew you were not working, so I called you. And then when you were like, yeah, Fred and I are going to go stake it out.
We'll go check it out.
That's when I kind of realized, okay, Dad
will yell at
Dad
some
is
children.
with you.
Yes.
And
the neighbor.
Yeah.
That sells soap.
Yes. So my house will be taken care of.
It's fine.
And my property will be taken care of.
It's fine.
And you know what So you didn't call back, but Fred called back.
Yeah, I didn't think it needed a call back.
Fred called back.
Of course, what the fuck did he say?
Dad called back and he's like, so Aaron and I went over and and no one was around the house, but we saw a couple teenagers walking around and don't worry, we gave them the stare down. And we drove by.
Your dad literally asked me, he's like, do you want to talk to them? And I go, no, they understand. That's fine.
Correct.
They know that we're patrolling or whatever.
Correct.
It's fine.
Correct. They know that
our presence is enough to deter the hoodlums.
Fucking hoodlums. But yes, so that's what Fred said, and I'm like, okay, well, cool. Like
I would only give you a call back if some shit was going down.
Correct.
You know, your living room's on fire.
Those
fucking $7 couches or whatever.
So about the time that they disappeared from the camera, they were walking in between the garage door to the garage.
I know what fucking
house.
Teenagers they are. They live over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were walking around into a blind spot where I have my Jeep and my enclosed trailer.
You don't have a camera on the front.
And we don't have a camera on that end. So...
Well, maybe your lady needs to spend some more money on some cameras.
Yeah, she'll spend some more money and I'll just have to work more.
Uh-huh.
But, I mean, we're going to put cameras up anyways because push comes to shove. When someone comes and burns that house down or, we tear it down.
You burn the house down.
Or we tear it down.
Either way. I've heard of
Either way. And we build a new shed or garage or whatever. We're going to end up putting new cameras up or more cameras up anyways.
Well, you have to.
Correct. Because we live in rural Illinois where people will give you the shirts off their back.
But also
rob you.
cock a 12 gauge at you
Correct.
if you're in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Correct. So.
Which is, it's kind of I find it fascinating. Because, like today, before I came over to your house today for dinner and this, it was, I'm sitting there and my computer's updating my laptop that we're recording on. And I'm sitting there in my front room in rural Illinois. And I just hear pop, 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 pop. Oh, somebody's shooting a gun. That's not a big deal. Whatever.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? Now, back home where I grew up, if somebody's shooting a gun, you try to figure out where the fuck it is. And you call the police.
Yeah.
Nobody shoots a gun in urban Illinois.
No. Nobody shoots a gun in urban Illinois.
Correct. Rural Illinois. It's like, oh, somebody got a new 45. Yeah, they got to test it out.
So one of my
It was the same way when we lived at that farm. It was the guy next door he had a target set up in his backyard. I found this out a year after we moved there, and here, ting, 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 ting. Oh, he's just shooting his gun. Oh, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The difference is night and day.
It really is.
I have a coworker who came up to me and, Andy, you know more about this stuff than I do.
What, guns?
No, not so much about guns. They're doing some construction on one of the major highways by them.
Yeah.
And they had to take down some wooded areas, which has, of course, disturbed the natural wildlife.
Oh.
And so he has
He got some vermin in his yard.
Not so much vermin,
Oh.
but he's got a dog, which is a decent sized dog.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit bigger than Daisy. But he goes, we've seen and we've noticed on that end of town that the coyotes are just running all over the place.
Shoot him.
Middle of the day.
Shoot him.
And he goes, How do you get rid of them?
Get a 22.
And that's what I said. I said,
22
shoot 'em.
with the scope.
Shoot the goddamn things.
Yeah, shoot him.
And he goes, I can't do that. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean you can't do that? Shoot the goddamn bastards.
Here's what you do. You don't miss.
and he goes, well, the police will be on my door if I shoot them. I'm like, how do they know it's you?
Right.
And he's just like, but we can't discharge a firearm in town. I'm like,
It's a 22.
okay, then my politically correct answer is going to be keep your dog inside.
Yeah.
Call pest control for them
To shoot it.
to shoot it.
Yeah. With a 22.
And he goes, well, maybe I'll just put out some bread with some antifreeze on it. And I'm like, no. Because that has no control over what eats it.
You could have raccoons eat that.
Correct.
Squirrels eat that.
And I'm like, no.
Rabbits eat that.
No. If you're going to do that.
Birds
you're
like
gonna,
bread.
I'm like,
Those Canada gooses.
taking those Canadian deuces. So I just kind of told him, I'm like, no, don't do that. You either shoot them like a man, you little scrawny fuck, or you call pest control so they can shoot them.
Yeah. Either way, it's going to get taken care of with a gun. So
Correct.
There was a couple culture shocks when I first started coming to this part of rural Illinois. And one of them was we were driving out from your dad's place to the family farm. And, in between, there's a mile stretch in between our tiny town and the farm. And he looks out the left, the driver's side window, and he sees a coyote in the middle of the yard, in the middle of this field. It's November or something, like all the corn is down and everything. And he sees it and he goes, Oh, fuck. And he fucking rips open the glove box, pulls out a judge, and goes and rolls down his window because it's the Jeep. It's the hand crank. It's fucking cheap-ass Jeep. And he rolls down the hand crank. The guy can get it. And I go, no, you're not going to hit that motherfucker from here.
Pow, 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 pow.
He goes, pow, pow. And then the thing runs off into the woods. And
Yep.
I don't think I got it. Of course you didn't get it. You're trying to hit that thing from 300 yards with a fucking judge, dude. It's shooting 410 shells.
Oh, boy.
Get the fuck out of here.
We were kids, right? We were kids in his cabin half. I don't even remember what
He's always been a Dodge
what
guy.
season it was.
Yeah.
Right? I just know there wasn't crops in the fields.
Yeah.
On the way out to the farm.
So you're talking like November between March, April.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
In that little span.
And I remember it was me, my sister Anna,
Yeah.
and Daniel. We were all sitting in the back seat of the cabin or the cab and a half. Yeah.
Well, they didn't really sell crew cabs back in the day.
Correct. And
You talking about the suicide doors, and you got to close
correct.
them the right way.
Correct.
Or
yes.
Dad'll get pissed.
And
Like, hold the flashlight
the
pissed.
seat that if you wanted to store anything underneath, you had to lift it up, and the front of the seat went up, and all that bullshit. We were in the back seat, and Fred, on the way out to the farm, saw a coyote.
Okay. Did he have the judge?
No, because the judge is still a fairly newer gun.
Uh-huh.
He had a shotgun.
12 gauge?
In a hard case.
In the back seat?
Underneath the back seat.
Did he whip that bit? Son, grab me that gun.
Exactly. That's exactly what he did. But it gets better because it's not like he slammed on the brake and said, "Guys, give me the shotgun." My brother had gone through the safety classes and hunting classes and all that stuff. So
like
he
a
had
responsible,
yes,
like a responsible adult.
Yes, he was responsible. He was maybe I don't even know how old I was, so I can't
13, 14.
No, it was younger than
young.
that.
You're talking young.
Yeah. And like my brother was old enough and had taken the classes that he knew what Dad needed to do and what Dad needed. And Ann and I were still young enough that we were like, we don't know what's going on. Mm-hmm. Because instead of just hitting the brakes and staying on the road and getting out of the truck and shooting this, he said...
How far away was it?
I don't remember.
A couple hundred yards.
Maybe.
Like with the judge.
He didn't stop at, "Get me the gun." It was, "Guys, get me the gun." And after the second, "Where's the gun?" He went, "Work on getting me the goddamn gun." And he took the steering wheel and we were jumping. We're like
Over the ditch.
Through the ditch, into the field. Everybody in the back seat was bouncing up and down. Like my brother was trying to flip open the seat while my sister and I...
If you're hunting coyotes, that is the worst approach.
Correct. So Fred's thought was, if I can't shoot him, I'm going to run him over.
That's...
With my 3 kids in the back seat of this truck that are now unbuckled because they're trying to get the gun.
Get the gun from under the seat.
Underneath them.
He's got a hard-on for fucking killing coyotes.
Oh, yeah. Not as much as Adam did. In high school, Adam would go on all-nighters where he would just sit out in the field, in the middle of the field.
Did they ever have livestock, though?
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah.
Do they still?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. They only had livestock during the summer,
Yeah.
like late spring, early summer.
Oh, what'd they raise?
Sheep.
Sheep? They
Yeah.
did sheep too?
Yeah, they had sheep too. They'd get them from our uncle
Yeah.
or
Raise them
meat swap.
for the summer and then
Raise them for the summer,
sell
show
them in
them,
the fall.
and then sell them.
They weren't into breeding them or
Nope. Nope. I think he bred them.
keeping them long term.
He bred them once or twice.
And it was a pain in the fucking dick, wasn't it?
Yes, because like the one ewe had 6 babies.
Oh, the fuck?
Right.
That.
So singles are pretty common.
Six.
Twins are common. Triplets
Abnormal.
are more abnormal. He had a ewe give birth to 6 lambs.
How many live? 2?
All of them.
What?
Yes.
No.
All of them.
What?
Because the 2 that latched on to mom and would drink from mom were fine. They bottle fed the rest.
The
Yep.
runts.
Yep.
They kept them alive.
Yep, they kept them alive.
This is very grim. But another culture shock that I got when I moved out here is, I think I was hammered, and your dad's like, "Oh, I gotta go out and feed the sheep," because he's keeping them out in the shed.
Yep.
I gotta go out and feed the sheep, and then I looked in the back of the mule, and there's just a dead baby lamb,
Oh, yeah.
like adorable, like 2-day-old. baby
Yeah, don't
lamb.
look in the feed sacks.
Yeah, and just dead, and it's cold as fuck. And I'm like, oh, that's fucking depressing. I drank a lot that night. Because I had never seen anything that fucking depressing in my entire life.
Yeah, sorry. I kind of got numb to that.
Yeah, I know. Now I'm numb to it, too.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's livestock. Yeah, they might be adorable. But guess
Yeah.
what? They're going to fucking die.
They're going to die. And guess what?
Only the strong survive.
If they live, they're stupid as shit.
Oh my God, they're the dumbest. Okay, so when Jesus said, I am the shepherd of men,
He was calling us stupid.
it's an insult because sheep are the dumbest fucking creatures on the
So
goddamn
fucking
planet.
dumb.
If one of them walks into an electric fence
They're
in a line,
They all walk
all
into
gonna
the
do it.
electric fence.
all
Yes.
going to do it. They are the dumbest
Yes.
creatures on the planet.
Horrible.
They aren't tasty, though. I'll tell you what.
They are.
They are very useful as well. You want wool,
Yep.
you want something warm and fuzzy, and you want something good to eat.
Yep.
And those motherfuckers, it's actually, other than the babies, once they get full grown, it's tough to kill them too.
Oh yeah.
They're very hardy.
Well,
They're hardy animals.
depends.
You put them in a barn, throw them hay every once in a while, they're not going to die.
So yes and no. We didn't have a problem when we first started showing sheep and raising sheep, killing the old ones too.
Well, those are the ones you eat.
Well, I'm saying
Again,
anyone.
you're talking about you don't have any use for them. You eat them.
Well, we were trying to raise them, so like we were trying to breed them and such,
Yeah.
right? So there was a time that we just kept losing them. Like
Was there some sort of disease or something?
So part of it was we had a lot of abnormal births that when we started looking into it was more so the birds in the tool shed
Oh, were they pooping in the water or
were
something?
pooping in the feed,
Oh.
right? So we had to start covering the wagons with
Yeah.
the feed. The other part was the sheep, once again, were so stupid that if they got loose, they would go over to the wagon where we would have loose feed hanging around, and they would just eat it and eat and eat it, and eventually they'd just bloat up and die.
Yeah, well, because you're feeding them a corn mix.
Correct.
Right. And corn doesn't really have a lot of nutrients in it. Mm-hmm. It's not like grain or hay or anything. Yeah.
Correct. So, yeah, if you know what you're doing or have good enough direction.
Right. And I've learned all this in the last few years since
Correct.
I moved to rural Illinois.
Correct. They're very hard to kill.
They are.
They'll compensate until they're really, really sick,
Right.
and then they'll just tank on you.
And they'll just kind of keel over.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you come out the next day and they're dead.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. So we learned.
They might look bad a couple days before.
Yep.
But then you're like, oh, maybe they'll pull through. Because you've seen a million of them pull through.
Oh.
But
Always.
yeah, but sometimes they just kind of, oh, you find them dead. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hard lessons.
We learned a lot of those.
Yeah. Hard life lessons.
Yep. After raising sheep for 20-something years, we learned them early, and we learned them well.
That's right, you did. This has been an episode of the Buzz Basement Brothers podcast. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Find us on Twitter, Instagram, or email us at buzzbasementbrotherspodcast@gmail.com. We out.